Back on the Beast. Game on. Make your move today to the Lorenzo, the most talked about apartment community at the University of Southern California. Upscale student living is waiting for you. Hurry. Spaces are going fast. Don't miss out. Immediate occupancies. Visit thelorenzo.com or call 213-863-4307. Jordan Moore, John Jackson, and now we got number 55, Willie McGinest, joining us, who looks like he could still suit up right now, Willie. Who is – JJ needs the number of your trainer, man.
Exactly. We gotta
Hey, man, I say if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. These young dudes,
it's too late for me.
You better be careful. These guys only know how to recruit. They're going to try to recruit you again.
I'm still out there, with some of the youth and high school kids, and sometimes they get a little testy. So
Okay.
I got to make sure I can fight them off.
I can't remember. I can't imagine anyone's getting testy with you, Willie.
Nah, that's why I stay looking like this.
I introduced you as a part of that great 55 lineage. It was just a couple years ago I interviewed you out here and Junior that day too. And, it's funny. Everyone thinks of it as a long USC tradition, but really, Junior was the original 55. What was it? How was it explained to you? Because you came pretty much right after Junior. What you were inheriting, and what obviously 25 years later, what you've spawned going forward.
Well, first of all, Junebug is the guy who created the linebacker number 55 and all the history and everything behind it. I mean, his incredible was his junior year when he had 21, 22 sacks.
Unbelievable.
Straight animal out there on the football field. And SC was my team. Mark Carrier was a guy from Long Beach Poly who I watched play here, and I knew I was coming to SC. But being one of the top linebackers, in the country, following behind Junior, his footsteps. I did a photo shoot with him with Student Sports before I even got here. It's like passing the torch. He passed the number down, and it was kind of an honor. Like, hey, he wore it in everything he did, just living up to those expectations and trying to just make sure I didn't disappoint. I mean, Junior was a top 5 pick. I was a top 5 pick. Some of the other guys wore it, was Buckus Award winners, pretty big guys, Claiborne, and just the tradition behind it. And now, I fight with the university. I fight with everybody like, hey, reserve that number and make sure whoever puts it on is going to be a consistent, dominating, intimidating, crazy, and wreck shop for the next 3 to 4 years while he's here.
Now, with that being said, when you wore it, let's go back to even your SC days. Mm-hmm. When you wore it as a Trojan, was it a constant reminder every time you put the jersey on, every time you walked on the Coliseum floor that, hey, I'm trying to uphold this?
Yeah.
Even going
absolutely.
Back? Okay.
I wanted to uphold the reputation. I wanted to live up to expectations. Anytime you're a top recruit and then you put on that number and you're wearing it after Junior, especially the way Junior took the NFL by storm, still wearing the number 55, people related him to that. And I just wanted to come out and serve the number well and have the utmost respect for it and do what I was supposed to do as a player.
It's a cool fun fact for you. Junior Seau obviously made the Hall of Fame this year. USC already in 2015 has put somebody in the 4 major Hall of Fames. Lisa Leslie and George Raveling with men's and women's basketball, and then Randy Johnson in baseball in Cooperstown. So it's a good start to 2015.
There you go.
Willie, I always think of you as one of the sort of initial hybrid guys. I mean, you were an outside linebacker, you were a defensive end, you were a guy that were moving around a lot. That seems to be really commonplace now, and there's a guy that everyone will be watching today, Sua Cravens. I don't even know what position they're going to call him, but he just seems to make plays. Is that really the future of football, these guys that are just sort of chess pieces that can do a lot more than just stay in their lane?
Well, you have to be a little more versatile just because of the way the game has changed. The power running game, all that stuff's changed a little bit. Now teams want to spread you out and do a lot more. So if you got a guy that's athletic, that can play in the box and play the run like Sua, who was a strong safety, who they moved down to the linebacker, I guess he's the Sam now, that can cover as well. That can go out and cover running backs, cover tight ends, cover some slow, big receivers because he still can move.
Right.
And he's a thumper, and he has that attitude. He's a dog. He has that thumper and that mentality that you can play him in the line of scrimmage. I think now the game has changed, so now you're looking for more of those guys. I was the elephant. I was in between the defensive end and the outside linebacker. I was a big 265-pound outside linebacker, but I was a defensive end. I was strong enough to play defensive end. On third down, I was coming off the edge.
Right.
So that size and those type of guys are it's a little different now, a little scarce, but you find them. And there's some coming in the draft this year.
Yeah.
And it's rare to find a player that can do both. Usually you specialize in one or the other. Give us a little bit of the difference. Like, which did you like the most? Did you like coming off the edge? I mean, obviously being a pass rusher, or or can you affect the game more from being like off the ball as a middle linebacker? Because you can see and have so much range different ways.
Well, JJ, I played outside linebacker, so I was always on the edge, on the line. As an outside linebacker, I had to learn every coverage. I had to walk out and cover. Off the ball. On third downs, my hands went in the dirt. I became a defensive end where I was a rush in, and we did it all. We was an every play player. So whether it's first and second down, I was playing the run or playing the pass. Third down was getting after the quarterback. Short yardage, we were in there on goal line. We never came off the field, and that's the difference between like the position now and how some guys do it. It's tough. It's tough when you try to create a category for it, because the systems are so sophisticated now and all these schemes and what these colleges and teams are trying to do. But when you find a big guy that can drop into coverage, that's fluid, that can move and cover tight ends and cover backs. Jamie Collins is a guy in the NFL now.
Yeah.
He plays with the Patriots. He's a perfect example. KJ Wright for Seattle is another guy.
But there's very few guys who put
very
their hand
few
down
guys.
and then stand up.
Yeah.
I think you already mentioned Long Beach Poly. I know you like to rep them too. That's sort of
Jackrabbits. We got a few of them here today.
And that's what I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
In particular, Juju Smith carrying on that legacy for him. What do you think of Juju?
I love Juju, man. He's a humble kid. He's very athletic. He's playing on the offensive side of the ball.
You'd rather him playing safety?
We don't even know what he can do at safety. It would be scary if he was at safety and receiver. But I think he likes where he's at. I think Sark is going to take advantage of that offensive skill set as a receiver, but a dynamic playmaker that if something happens and we need him to go play safety.
I thought he was a better safety.
We wouldn't miss a beat.
I thought he was a better
safety. He was in high school.
Yeah, he was.
But these guys, they like to touch the ball. You know that.
Hey, trust me, you want to be in the paper. You can't get in the paper.
They want to get in the end zone. They want to do it all. And Adoree' another guy like that.
Yeah.
He's a cornerback, but you see him playing in the slot and returning punts and kicks and all that. So, hey, the more you can do, I guess.
From Long Beach Poly to USC to the Patriots in the Super Bowl, Willie McGinest, we appreciate you joining us. Get on out there and yell at the guys for us a little bit. Enjoy the spring game.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks so much. We'll be back in the Beast. It's Trojans Live from the spring game.